What's it like being a part of that legacy that Clinch has put forth almost as the Pittsburgh Steelers of coaching?
It's just something that, from the outside looking in, it's something that people look at, and it's just so impressive to them because not many schools, you don't see it very often. But being from there and living it, it's like it's a natural thing. So you try to put yourself, from an outsider looking in perspective and realize the importance of being able to try to carry that on, and just just the pride that's there with Daddy and Cecil and Jim. It's an enormous, it's almost like it's not a burden, but it's a gift and a burden at the same time. It's a blessing, just to be a part of a program like Clinch. And you look and people try to compare, one coach to the other to the next, and all three of those guys are all different. They all three had different coaching philosophies, different styles. They ran different offenses. Defense pretty much stayed the same throughout that whole course, the whole thing. But the thing that those three have in common that they all share is they all love that program, like deeply love it. A lot of it's got to do with being from there, and it's really fueled by that town. The town loves that team. So I think the biggest thing about it is loving the team. And I think if you look at any program, and it's probably like you talked about Pittsburgh Steelers, you think about their fans and the city of Pittsburgh, they love the Steelers. So being a coach for the Steelers or being a coach at Clinch, you don't talk about it a lot, but I think that's the absolute most important thing that you have to do there is love that program like it's your child almost. And just the amount of pride that they had, during their time there was just unmatched, and it's not going to change.
I mean this next question somewhat philosophically, but when you were named head coach, did you talk to your dad?
People, they remember my dad as the kind of coach he was. And, the kind of man he was. And I saw that, I saw that side of him, and I know exactly, what they're talking about, because he was like a father. He was like a father. But to me, he was my father. And, I grew up on that practice field. I helped him. We'd be up there on Saturdays, doing laundry and painting the field, spraying, just the things that you do, when you love a program. And he brought me up through it. And I'm glad he did. It meant a lot to me. And that's what I have left. Because I lost my dad when I was 23.
Yeah.
And I loved him deeply. He was such a good daddy. And so the biggest memories, the majority of my memories of him come from football. Whether it be from the bus rides to the games, whether it be, on the practice field, whether it be on Friday nights, I was the ball boy growing up. All of those memories, it was just wonderful memories. So it's hard for me to put into words, what it meant to me when I got that job. It's you got families, they pass down things, and so when I learned that news, when I got the news that I got the job,
it was almost like his gift to me.
So you're getting that reaffirmation. It's like, Dad, hey, I have this idea, and then when you ask it, it's wondering whether or not you're on that right path.
That's right. Because, and nobody's perfect, but watching him and learning from him and knowing the things that he did and how he did it, I always ask myself, is this the way he would do it? And because everybody holds him at a high standard and such a high esteem that it's almost like he did no wrong. Because the way he handled himself, he did it humbly and always put God first, put his family first. So if I could finish my career, and be anywhere close in the same conversation as him, not only as a football coach, but as a person, that would be a tremendous success to me.
And you get to do it in the toughest region in single A.
That's right. Yeah. And I wouldn't want it any other way. I didn't, when I got the job, I didn't want it to be handed to me. I wanted people to agree with the decision, whether it be through some process or whether, or however they wanted to do it. Everybody knew how bad I wanted the job, but I didn't want there to be any doubt in anybody's mind whether or not I deserved it or not.